afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our 4th annual Human Rights Day. And it does feel good to say that. Happy Human Rights Day. It is always right to do what's right. Unfortunately, the world has not embraced that quote, and we are seeing a growing spread of hate within this country and world. We continuously see acts of inhumanity towards each other. We have to seize more opportunities to send out different, kinder, and more civil messages. Human Rights Day is a perfect time to do that. Established in 1948, when the United Nations adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, was the first global expression to protect the rights of everyone worldwide. Human rights commissions throughout the world acknowledge the day in various ways. The New Bedford Human Relations Commission felt, given the climate of the country and the world today, it would be good for the city of New Bedford to commemorate and observe this historic milestone. In 2017, the commission sent a letter to the mayor and the city council to establish the day. Both gladly authored and signed the proclamation. This is our 4th annual event. The first was a luncheon, the second was a breakfast, and it appears that most folks preferred the breakfast, so that's what we will stay with. Last year it was virtual due to COVID, and today, being mindful of COVID protocols, we decided to have this more intimate gathering, and so I am thankful, standing room only, to those of you who came out today. Hopefully next year we will get back to having the breakfast. As you look around the room, you see the work of past and current awardees. This is a compassionate city, as you can see by the work, with a huge heart. Folks outside of New Bedford look at us as a model of human service advocacy for a city of this size. If a need is identified, someone will step up to the plate to help. That's who we are, and it is an honor to award these humble, amazing individuals each year who bring humanity to the least among us. Welcome. I now would like to introduce a man who needs no introduction, the mayor of our great city, John Mitchell, to say a few words to you today.
All right, I'll take off my mask, and I appreciate everybody's wearing these because we need to now. Marcy, thank you. Thank you so much for your initiative and for ensuring that this ceremony is brought back despite the disruption last year and continuing disruption, but especially last year, because it's really important to honor those who exemplify the values and that we as a city espouse, but they're also espoused by Human Rights Day, were reflected in the idea of Human Rights Day. We are a city with a big heart, and we're a city that prides itself on its residents looking out for one another, especially those in need. And like other cities, we have the needs abound, but fortunately, we have folks with big hearts and a big reserve of generosity and kindness to step up. So I want to thank you for all of your efforts, and the Human Relations Commission. I want to thank Brian Gomes and the City Council for their support along the way. The City Council's been a real backstop in these efforts. The Police Department under Paul Olivera's leadership as well. We have a city that comes together when it counts, and the 3 individuals that we're honoring today richly deserve accolades for things recent, but over, really the entirety of their careers and professional lives. Cynthia, Peter, and Helena really have, and I see it from where I sit all the time, have really stepped up to make a difference in the lives of countless folks, whether it's folks who are suffering from substance abuse, folks who are, who need a roof over their head, folks who are coming to this country and looking to make their way in America. All three of them have been there and been there time and time again. And so I just want to thank all of you for your service and your commitment to them and to our city. I know Marcy too well and the Human Relations Commission too well to know that these accolades are not given out lightly. It's for people who deserve it, and I certainly salute you and salute the selections, because I think each of you so richly deserve to be recognized, and know that you don't do it for the recognition. You do it because of the general credo that that which we do for the least of our brother is so meaningful to you and to each of us. So thank you for that, and thank you for for setting the example for so many others who are following suit. Thank you very much.
Councilor Gomes, I'm going to call on you to bring greetings from the City Council.
Thank you very much, Marcy. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. There we go. Even though we're in this room, we can be a loud sound. I am very, it's a distinct honor and a privilege to be before you this afternoon to not only respectively honor the three recipients of this award, but to be part of human rights. Human rights is equal to everybody. Everybody should have equal rights. I have strongly fought on the City Council, and I continue, and we have a very exciting new Human Relations member who we swore in back a couple of weeks ago. And I was very excited because I could hear it in her voice, the energy and what she was going to bring to that board. And I said to her something that I've been trying to do for probably about 10, 12 years. I want to hang in every public building in this city a proclamation that talks about human rights and where this city stands and what we don't stand for. And if that's one of the last things that I do, I want to get done, that a proclamation hangs in every city building, may it be school, library, city hall, anything owned by the city. The message is there. We all are somebody. Human rights is for everyone. And again, it's a distinct honor to be here this afternoon. I appreciate the opportunity. Congratulations to our recipients and to everyone that has come here. God bless you. Human rights is for all, equal to all. Thank you.
Thank you for those words, Councilor Gomes. I'd like to introduce two commissioners that are in the room. Commissioner Jeff Costa, Commissioner Michael Mello, and Commissioner Martin Bentz, who I am going to call to the podium right now to speak a little bit about the commission and some of the human rights advocacy that we have engaged in over the past year.
Keeping with protocol, I'll drop my mask so I can speak a little clearer. But thank you very much, Marcy, and I want to thank Mayor Mitchell, who has left, and his staff who are here. And I thank you to all the members, or the member of this New Bedford City Council who has come to this event, and also to Chief Oliveira, who's joined us, and the agency leaders who have joined us today. Thank you all to the participants of this year's observance of Human Rights Day in the city of New Bedford. We will soon be recognizing the work of some very deserving citizens of New Bedford who have worked tirelessly to uphold dignity and rights of the people living here in New Bedford. We are grateful that this year we can honor the Human Rights Day proclamations in person. We remain vigilant and take necessary precautions to protect those still vulnerable to COVID, being concerned for another person's safety is to respect a fundamental human right, the right to safety. We have yet much to do and to ensure everybody's safety and well-being, but we will make a lot of progress this year. This year, Mayor Mitchell nominated and the City Council approved 3 new members to the Human Relations Commission. And I wanted to thank the mayor and his staff and the council members for bringing on board Dolores Joseph, Chad Freitas, and Michael Mello, who is with us today. I understand there's one more commissioner who has been nominated, Genesis Galan, and we look forward to her being also confirmed by the council. We extend them all a warm welcome as they take up the work of the Human Relations Commission with Jeff Costa, Marcus Schumach, and myself. We are dedicated to promoting human dignity in the city, regardless of race, ethnicity, national origin, religion, gender, personal persuasion, and ability. We are short one member and encourage recommendations to be sent to the mayor's office for consideration. So I'm looking at there. The Human Relations Commission will review any cases of discrimination brought to the attention of our very capable Executive Director, Marcy Pina Christian. So please, if you have heard of any case of discrimination or abuse of human rights, please make her aware of it, and we'll take the necessary steps to review it and take action as necessary. We applaud the progress that has been made this year, starting with the Mayor's Commission to review protocols on the use of force by the police. And the new directives are a first good step. And we look forward to working with Chief Oliveira and the new Bedford Police Department on all incidents that originate from discrimination or the abuse of human rights. So thank you, Chief. The YWCA, for instance, has also spearheaded classes on systemic racism that have increased awareness and given attendees the skills to recognize and confront habits that are endemically racist. The city's Department of Health has worked hard to address the inequities in health services, especially the challenge of getting vaccines to communities of color who are at most at risk from COVID. The positive action against chemical addiction, known as PACA here, on Coggeshall Street has improved facilities available to the homeless in New Bedford with a place to gather and support and information and shelter in severe weather. The Human Relations Commission is working also on fair housing and the inequities that we find at the moment in fair housing, and we're looking forward to working hard on that. Citizens across the city, though, have stepped up to help those less fortunate and those who have been affected by COVID, joblessness, homelessness, addiction, and abuse. There's an act before the Commonwealth, the Act of Ensuring Equitable Representation in the Commonwealth, H3115, is moving forward so that all communities are equally recognized in the collection of data and subsequent services. I urge that the special needs of the Afghan families recently displaced to Massachusetts get notable attention in the bill and in other bills to support them as they settle in the Commonwealth. The New Bedford community itself, however, has stepped forward to help the 5 Afghan families here, but they'll need more help. The Immigrants Assistance Center is accepting gift cards from groceries and big stores for basic food and household needs, and we are going to be honoring Helena De Silva, the IAC, the Immigrants Assistance Center, and Helena De Silva Hughes for taking the lead. Thank you, Helena. The New Bedford public school officers are in the process of registering the children into school, and the city and the IAC are helping with literacy and English as a second language classes. The city is ready to help with employment and healthcare services. Most of all now, we need more affordable housing. And some of the families are housed in places that are short-term and over their budget. Anyone who knows a reasonable rental for small families, please inform Helena. The Afghan families have their papers, their work permits, and social security cards, and they're ready to work. They are ready to work hard to improve their English and become part of our community, as so many other immigrant communities have in the past. They were our allies in the face of extreme danger when they were in Afghanistan. They did not shirk in their duty to us. Let us not shirk in our duty to help them get on their feet here. Let us continue to support human rights and human dignity for all residents in the city in the year ahead, and I thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bentz. Commissioner Bentz, to those of you who don't know, is a former member of the United Nations, so he's a wonderful asset to have as a part of our Human Relations Commission. And so now, yes. And so now we will move to what we are all gathered here for, to award this year's awardees. And I'm going to ask Carl Alves if he would make the presentation for the first award recipient.
Congratulations to all the recipients, and thank you, Councilor Gomes. I applaud your motion. Hopefully, we can get that done in all the buildings. And Chief, always good to see you, and thank you for being here. My name is Carl Alves, and I'm pinch hitting for the great Reverend Lima, who is caring for some loved ones and was unable to be here, but he did prepare some remarks, and I want to share those. But before I do that, I want to kind of express my love for this man, Peter Muse, and his lovely wife, Robin, who do so much for our community. He's a mentor, somebody that I admire, and a role model. So it's just with great honor that I'm able to kind of present this to you. Peter Muse retired as president and CEO of First Citizens Federal Credit Union in January of 2020. A longtime leader in the financial community, he has worked with many community businesses and civic organizations, founder of the Rise Up for Homes campaign. Peter is a collaborator in efforts around education, business, nonprofits, especially working for those who need help the most. And you wouldn't expect that from a CEO of a for-profit business, but he is exemplary. Peter could have gone into retirement, sat back, and dealt with his health issues, which he has been battling for a few years, but he chose not. It would have been considered a time for self-care and rest, and no one would have questioned him. However, that's not how Peter, along with his wife Robin, lived their lives. With retirement came the timing of the COVID-19 pandemic. With his years of service and experience, he didn't sit back, but moved forward and continued to work continuously to every collaborative effort that arose. And I can personally attest to that. He joined us through thick and thin, to be able to help the homeless, evictions and rent increases, food insecurities, testing and vaccinations, even weeding at the community garden at Sister Rose Shelter. His leadership and experience brought people together, informed others, and pushed for answers, even though at times making meetings meant listening and talking and sending notes while he was in Boston receiving treatments. He continued to be a part, not just listening, but leading. Peter would be the first to tell you he couldn't and wouldn't be able to do all of that he's been given credit for without so many partners, especially his wife, Robin. What he doesn't see is that so many others continue to be mentored, tutored, and educated by his influence. It's about what we do together that lasts and will make the difference. It's not about who gets the credit, but who gets the help needed. For partnering and providing funding, and for resources to many community projects, for mentoring and tutoring many through his knowledge and good works, for giving tirelessly of himself, for the betterment of others, for the leadership during COVID-19 pandemic and the housing crisis, Peter Muse is the 2021 Human Rights Day recipient in the category of Individual for Advocacy on Human Rights. Peter.
Kyle, thank you very much. Marcy, thank you very much. I very much appreciate it, and I want to say that it's an honor. It's an honor to be with Cynthia and Helena. two women that I greatly admire, right up there, one step below my wife, Robin. Okay, I want to make sure she's here, so I'm saying it that way. But truly appreciate it. Kyle, thank you very much for those kind words, and Councilor, thank you for being here, and Chief, thank you for very much. It goes without saying, and we've heard it in many different ways. Those of us that are blessed, we have a responsibility, and we have a responsibility to pay it forward, no matter what. And there are times that those blessings that we have sometimes get a little more difficult than other times. I think what Kyle's referring to is, and some of you know, I'm battling my second cancer, my leukemia. And fortunately, Kyle and David and Cynthia and some of the others have been kind enough to let me zoom in on telephone calls while I'm lying in bed at Brigham and Women's getting my treatments. I think they don't mind that because it keeps me out of the room, right? So they like it that way. But while I'm there, let me just kind of paint a little picture for you. I'm in a room, I'm hooked up. If anyone's seen anybody like that, that's the way it is. But I'm in a bed that gets changed every day. I'm in a private room that has a bathroom. I have a television. And I look outside when the weather's cold, and I know there's an awful lot of people who don't even have what I have. They just don't have it. At the end of my treatment, I have hope I'm going home. I have a place to go. I have a warm house. I have a loving wife. I have a family. I have the rest of my life. We know that not everybody can say that. We know that. And it's very difficult. And even as those folks were approached by Kyle and some of the other folks from Stepping Stone, they don't accept that help as readily as I do when I'm in the hospital room. But it takes time to build that credibility, to build that connection for where it goes. And there's folks probably no better at it than the folks here in New Bedford. The agencies that work with that, Helena's people do the same types of thing. We'll break through. We eventually break through. It's not on the weekend. It's not the next week. It takes a lot of time. And you have to have the dedication to be able to do that. And you know at some point in time, you're going to have those successes. And I'm going to look at all these folks and say, it's those successes that bring you back. It really is. Saving them one at a time for where it goes. So the part that I do, Kyle kind of alluded to, I'm a back office guy. I could not do direct services. I just could not. I marvel at all of you that do. It's just it's a calling you have. It's something that I wouldn't be as good at. But if you need something else and you need it done and you want to know my thoughts or my experiences where it goes, I'm open. Be more than happy to help out in any particular way I can and any time I can. And if I can't help, I'll send Robin down, all right? And Martin knows that as well, all right, from the times they've worked together as well. So I appreciate this very much. It means an awful lot. It does mean an awful lot to me. And again, it means a lot being with this class. And when I say class, that's a lot of class, all right? There's two ladies with a lot of class. So thank you so very much. And Marcy, thank you. And thank you to the committee for selection. I appreciate that very much. And thank you for all that you all do. And I'm going to say it this way. All that we do, still not enough. We got to get more into this Army to be able to help out because people need us. They really do. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I think most of us know who Helena Da Silva Hughes is, as leading the charge in the Immigration's Assistance Center down on Crapo Street. But she has been doing this for I don't know how many years. She never tells me, but I know it's many years. And I am in great admiration for all the work that she has done to help every wave of immigrants who have come here. We have had immigrants from starting with herself and her family from Portugal, but from Cape Verde, from the Azores, which are part of, and also from many parts of Africa. And now we have them, people in dire need from Guatemala, from Nicaragua, San Salvador, and Haiti. She is on the forefront of actually welcoming those people and integrating them into the city of New Bedford in every possible way, through the legal services, through the education services, through the health services. She's guiding them, taking them by the hand individually almost, and just showing them the way to be part of the city and how the city can help them. And that's what we're trying to do on our side. But we want to recognize all that she's doing, and as I mentioned earlier, she's now taken the baton for the Afghan refugees, and there's never a person or an immigrant who hasn't taken her heart. And if it's someone from another country in another week or another month, she'll be there to welcome them. And we want to thank Elena for being that person. And I hope she would say a few words on behalf of the Immigrants Assistance Center. Thank you.
I don't know what to say, Peter. I've known you for so long. You're so special. And I appreciate everything that you do. What can I say? I'm fortunate, very fortunate, that I've been able to do the work I've been doing for 38 years. So I've been around. That's how long. And yes, 38 years, I feel like it's my mission in life. I feel like we're all born with a mission. And I was so fortunate to find it at the age of 23. Coming to the United States, not speaking the language, I see my parents work so hard, and being the one of 7 siblings. And being picked on when I was little because I looked funny, dressed funny, spoke with a heavy accent, which I said to my husband, I no longer have an accent. He says, are you kidding? And so to me, it's part of my DNA. And working at the Immigrants Assistance Center and really understanding the challenges that our immigrant faces and the language, the cultural barriers that they have, and putting myself in their shoes and making sure that I feel that I'm just so fortunate that I don't look at, I've been doing this for 38 years and it's not my job, it's a mission. Everybody says, oh, when are you going to be retiring, Helena? And I'm like, retiring? You don't retire from a mission. Right? We don't retire from a mission. I think I'll be doing this for the rest of my life until I can no longer do. And so to me, it's just, I'm so humble because I'm being recognized for something that I just feel that we all need to do. It's a village. We all need to help each other. And then when we don't do that, then I kind of question your integrity because I think it's important for every single one of us to help those in need. And I'm just so humbled to be able to do this. So thank you so much for the recognition. Yes, I will always help. And of course, Afghanistan families are the ones who are here, are new immigrants, and they need our help. We really need, they need our help and they need us to help them. And so to me, I will do everything in my power and will always do whatever I can to help those in need. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Helena. And I have the pleasure of making the last and the final award. And this individual, you may not know her name as well as you know the others, and that's because of her age. One of the things that we also try to do with these awards is to award a young person or a young adult for their human rights efforts. This young woman, Cynthia Delmas, who I just love her to pieces, I remember the day that she came into my office at City Hall. And she said, I started a nonprofit organization, the New Bedford Health Initiative. And she said, I want to know if We can set up shop outside of City Hall on a weekend. We want to give haircuts to the homeless. And we also want to set up racks so they can pick out some clothing. We have hygiene kits for them. Do I need to have a permit to do this? And I said, well, you know, it's the weekend, City Hall's closed. Go ahead and do it. Didn't know if I was going to get in trouble for that, but nobody was there. So I said, you don't need a permit, just go ahead and do it. Well, this has probably been 5 or 6 years later, and at that time, you were probably just, 21? 21 years old. And I was just impressed to see, you know, we talk about millennials and these millennials, oh, they're entitled and they don't. No, these millennials, many of them are ready and prepared to lead. And we must encourage that. And now, hundreds of homeless later, she and her team, and I know that there are some other members of the New Bedford Health Initiative. Would you please stand and be recognized? Please stand. She is working with our city's most vulnerable population, providing health necessities such as haircuts, health checks, minor wound care, care kits, a listening ear, as you can see if you look at some of the photos, clothing and winter essentials. The team has been able to practically meet the needs of hundreds. For the last 3 years, our team has had the tremendous privilege of serving the needs of our community, including children, adults, and seniors, and has partnered with various organizations, including Boston's Jubilee Christian Church, also expanding their services to the Boston area as well. After years of participating in community volunteer work, Cynthia Delmas, founded this organization in 2018 with the sole goal of improving health outcomes for those in the city, coupled with a passion for health care, health equity, and servicing New Bedford. This organization was birthed. For starting an organization that focuses on the right to a quality life and dignity in living, Cynthia Delmas is being given this award in the category of youth and young adult organizations. Thank you for your work, Cynthia. And I know that is your grandmother sitting next to you, and I know that grandmother has poured a lot of good stuff in you, so thank you, Grandma, for your hand.
Yes, that is my grandmother, all the way from Haiti. Hi, good afternoon. Well, first off, thank you so much to the committee for selection. Thank you so much to my team. Practically for the past 3 years, every month, our team is out there on the streets. If it gets too cold, we convert to a street teams operation, and so we're practically walking up to the homeless down here, downtown, and we're meeting their practical needs. We're having these conversations. We're asking them, what do they need? Here in the wintertime, we hear a lot of, we need warm socks. We need warm socks. Our feet are cold. Our hands are cold. And so we go out there and we meet the need. And so it's really been an honor and it's really been a privilege to just service our own community members here in the city. So thank you so much. And we look forward to many more years.
Our city is in good hands. I also noticed that Representative Cabral is here. I want to acknowledge him. And it did appear that you came here carrying something. Did you bring something with you? Okay, so you might want to make your way to the podium.
Well, good afternoon. It's wonderful to be here again with all of you, in particular the Human Relations Commission, and the wonderful work that they do year-round. And I didn't want to miss this opportunity to be here with all of you celebrating your choices this year, those that you nominated and awarded this year, as we've done in past years. It's a different setting. The last time I think we were over at the New Bedford Hotel.
The breakfast, we talked about that.
Right, the breakfast, we did. No breakfast today, guys, you know. It's something that by the way, talking about breakfast, it's something that I enjoy a lot. It's one of my favorite meals, and I always have, from time to time, have the pleasure to join Peter and Hank and others in this community, sitting down in the morning and trying to have a little discussion about what's going on. So, again, to all of you, congratulations in receiving, to Peter, to Elena, and to Cindy, right? Or Cynthia, right? It's nice to see young people really involved in the community and trying to help those that need the help the most. In terms of the homeless, I remember I forget how many years, but Carl, you might remember. We did that whole tent over at Normandy Middle School. Peter, I think you were there with us, and Reverend Lima. I'll tell you, it was a pretty chilly night. It was pretty cold, and just try to experience, at least for one day or one night, what those individuals who don't have actually one of the most basic human needs, which is a roof over their head, what they might go through. And what we experienced that evening into the morning probably was not even anything compared to what they experience every day. But that was our attempt to get some sense of what these folks might be experiencing on a daily basis, you know. People's human rights is a big deal, right? And we should stand up for them. Here in our community, as we do around the world, there are violations every single day. All you have to do is open up the newspaper in the morning, be the Globe or any other newspaper that you might read, or the Senate Times. I don't want to leave out the local newspaper. And you know, it's challenging out there. So to have individuals like Peter and Elaine and Cynthia really dedicated to providing the kind of services that's needed in this community. I've known Peter for many years. He deeply cares about his community. He's deeply involved at every level that he can. If he can be involved in everything, he would love to. I know that. Elena has been doing this work for many, many years. I'm not going to repeat how many years, Elena. But you know, so you'll know. I mean, the Immigrants Assistance Center was founded in 1971 by immigrants in this community to help other immigrants that arrived after them. And IAC has had several directors. But I think Elena has been a special director. Like she said, it was her mission, it's her passion. She knows the community extremely well. I could add, I think she's been one of the best directors, the best leadership that organization has seen in a long, long time. And you know how long it is. And I mean it. I mean, I've dealt with every single one of those folks who went through that organization. I've been involved also on that organization many years ago. And it's nice to see someone, a woman, leading that organization for so many years. And sometimes it makes the difference. Peter, don't take offense. But sometimes when you have a woman leading organizations of that nature, it really, really makes that difference. Because they look at things in a very different way. So it's nice to see someone like Cynthia also getting involved. It's nice to see young women involved in this community. Because, and I usually say that because I have a great admiration for women who are involved, and they are the majority of the community. They ought to be involved, they should be involved, because we need them to be involved. in leadership positions, not just in the background, but in leadership positions. I always make reference to this. I grew up with 7 sisters, my mother and my grandmother, so the house was full of women. And let me tell you, they knew how to lead. And my father used to say all the time, just listen and follow. They're doing a great job. And so I'm always, every time I see someone lead, a woman leading, to me it's rewarding. My mom used to be a very strong woman, and she didn't take much from anybody, including men. So it's always nice to see that. So I do bring a small remembrance on behalf of the House of Representatives to each one of you. I want to read one of them, and then we'll pass it on. And it's just a citation from the House of Representatives, but I thought the occasion was important to come here, not only to be with you, as I usually try to be on this occasion, but actually offer you a little token of thank you from us, from all of us in the House, and really on behalf of those that I represent. This is really about the folks in the South End, the West End, and downtown, right? This is about them recognizing you as well, not just me. And it says, the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers sincerest congratulations, and I'm going to read it. Peter Muse, in recognition of being a 2021 recipient of the New Bedford Human Relations Commission's Human Rights Award, in gratitude for your work promoting the dignity and rights of everyone in our community. The entire membership offers sincerest best wishes in all your future endeavors and your community involvement. Given this 10th day of December 2021 at the State House, Boston, Mass., signed by the Speaker of the House, Ron Mariano, and offered by myself, Tony Cabral. Peter, congratulations. And basically the same for Elena. Cynthia, first, sorry. Cynthia. And of course, the person that has been working for 38 years. Thank you again. Appreciate it. Thank you, Marcia, for wonderful work.
Thank you, Representative Cabral. He always shows up. Well, that concludes our program today. Again, congrats to all of the awardees. You have inspired all of us, not only with your work, but with your words today. So thank you so much, and we invite... Oh. The proclamation. See, when the mayor came in, everything changed. Janet Barboza.
Thank you, everyone. So my name is Janet, and I'm here on behalf of Mayor Mitchell. He does have some proclamations. I've never read a proclamation on behalf of the mayor before. This is my very first time, and no better person to give it to than Senora Helena in the front row. No offense to Peter. I hear you're very nice, and it's nice to meet you as well. So, official proclamation. Whereas the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, adopted by the United Nations 73 years ago on December 10th, 1948, represents the first comprehensive agreement among nations as to the specific rights and freedoms of all human beings. Whereas Mayor Mitchell established Human Rights Day in the city of New Bedford on December 10th, 2017, and whereas 2021 Human Rights Day awardee Helena Da Silva Hughes has created and implemented services based on the needs of the immigrant communities for nearly 35 years. We should change that to 38 now. I had false information here. For nearly 38 years. As president of the Immigrants Assistance Center, Ms. Hughes has advocated for equity in matters of health, education, and police reform, and is a co-founder of Our Sisters School, a middle school for low-income New Bedford area students. Ms. Hughes also has been instrumental in the city's efforts to resettle Afghan refugees in the community, which I can personally attest to. So, Helena, on behalf of Mayor Mitchell, here you are. Oh, does anyone want a picture with me, Mike? Hello, Cynthia. I'm not going to do the official part because it's the same thing up top for everybody. But Cynthia Delmas, founder of the New Bedford Health Initiative, a community health organization focused on improving health equity for vulnerable populations. New Bedford Health Initiative provides health necessities such as haircuts, health assessments, minor wound care, care kits, clothing, and winter essentials. Ms. Delmas and her team have worked with children, adults, and seniors, meeting the needs of hundreds since its inception. She's an avid participant in the community and continues to improve health outcomes for those in the city of New Bedford. Thank you so much. Martin, hello, Mr. Muse. Last but not least, Peter Muse partnered and provided funding and resources to several community projects and nonprofits in his capacity as president and CEO of First Citizens Federal Credit Union. And I can also say that I've dealt with some of his former employees as volunteers, and they are absolutely amazing. Always come up, and it seems like they learned it from you. After his retirement in January 2020, Mr. Muse continued to assist the community during the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, focusing his efforts on homelessness, evictions, and rent increases, food insecurities, and testing vaccinations. On behalf of Mayor Mitchell, thank you so much. You forget it.
Thank you, Janet. Are there any more individuals out there with awards? Hearing none? Hearing none, we will conclude today's program. And I invite you to hang around and congratulate the awardees, take photos if you like. Thank you again for coming out. And as Peter would tell us, now let's get back to work.